happened today and what's going to happen tonight, as a little bit of a primer for this. One of the things we've done in the last 24 hours is we've got all the signals operating. So Harrison, Republican, Dearborn, Royal Brome, all of the major intersections where they're either traffic coming in or exiting the tunnel, those intersections were all, the last of the few were flipped on by WSDOT this morning, and so those are all up and operational, which is great. There's other maintenance activities that our teams are doing, including basically one final sweep of the tunnel, physically sweeping the tunnel, cleaning up the last bit of the big party this weekend, and I'll talk about that in a second. And so they're doing that. They have one last security sweep, and then they're going to hopefully give us the green light here before midnight. And then the crews that are on site and are ready to deploy. And so those are the major things that have gone on in the last few hours and what we have ahead of us tonight. I do also want to hit on the grand opening event. It was a wonderful, using my analogy, it was a wonderful pregame event for the Super Bowl. And we had over 100,000 people showed up for the the fun run, and of course the general walk through the tunnel. Very well attended, a lot of positive feedback. It was very well covered by all the news agencies, and so I really think people really wanted to celebrate this, and it's very exciting for us to not only celebrate the tunnel but celebrate the viaduct one last time. And then finally, the last thing I wanted to mention is I know that while it's snowing, people are concerned about that, how it's going to affect the commute this morning. WSDOT and WSDOT have been working in close concert to make sure that we've got snow plows and trucks de-icing the roadways, SR 99 specifically, in addition to all of the major routes in and around Seattle. That's happening tonight. We'll continue to monitor the temperatures. We'll continue to monitor the amount of de-icing materials. But things should be safe. Of course, it's not snowing in the tunnel, right? But everything else will have de-icer on it, and it should be safe for travelers who are trying to come in tomorrow if they choose to. Obviously, you need to be safe, and if the road conditions don't allow it, it's a good choice to stay home too. And so that's about all I had for you all. If you have any questions, I can take those now.
So in terms of what's going on tonight, you said you got all the intersections up and running, but what is the work going on in the tunnel tonight?
Well, so our maintenance crews are sweeping out both the north and southbound lanes. They look good on the cameras, but I'm not physically down there. I don't know the condition of them. And then doing one last security sweep, making sure that nobody's down there. There's no no paraphernalia, nothing was left over from the party. It looks clean, but I'm just waiting for that confirmation from our crews. And they're doing both decks, and they're going through the egress pass. Overnight at some of the key intersections, just to help a couple things. One, just help with driver confusion if there is some of that overnight and into the wee hours of the morning, and also to prevent people from going the wrong way, thinking, or even people that still think the grand opening party is going on and want to walk down a one-way ramp the wrong way, and that would be that could be dangerous.
And Dave, can you talk about officers and where they will be in the morning for that morning commute? We talked about that on Thursday, but if you could remind viewers again.
Yeah, so we'll have officers at the Republican off-ramp, which is a brand new ramp. It's right here behind me on Dexter, and that's a new ramp that people won't be that familiar with when they come out of the tunnel and they want to get into South Lake Union. We'll have an officer there to help a little bit with cross-traffic bicyclists. That is a heavy bike corridor in the morning. I don't know about tomorrow if we'll have a light of bicyclists, but certainly we want an officer there to help deal with those types of things. We'll have another officer at Royal Brome and the on and off ramps there at the frontage road, just again to help make sure that people don't do U-turns and get into the wrong lanes. We have a lot of signs, we've got a lot of paint, but there is some snow. It is dark early in the morning. There could be some driver confusion. And these are signs people have never seen before. These are roads people have never seen before. And, you know, it's one thing if you're following a convoy into the on-ramp, but if you're the only person there and you get to that intersection, you don't really know which way to go. It's nice to have an officer there that, you know, could kind of direct you to the right spot. So as a precaution, we're going to staff a couple of positions. And then we'll have some of the same posts that we've had over the last 3 weeks on Mercer, on First Avenue, at different points, again, particularly in the evening commute, blocking the box, you know, making sure people are obeying the laws, helping pedestrians get across the streets, and those types of things. Those will also be in place tomorrow. So we got a lot of work for our friends from the police department over the next 12 hours.
Is there a time, I know you've been saying before the morning commute, but is there a time you're thinking people will be driving through this tunnel, 3 a.m., 4 a.m.?
Yeah, I mean, I would say somewhere in that time range would probably be what we're shooting for. It really depends on when I get the green light from maintenance and just how long it takes to do this.
So as soon as they say it's ready, you guys are going to do it?
Yeah, we're going to start pulling up the ramps. We've already, just so everybody knows, we've already opened Dearborn east and west, and we've opened Alaskan Way north and south. So those things are already open. Those are open for the grand opening event, and we continue to keep those open, and we're actually making some minor tweaks there. Harrison behind me is open now. 3/4 of this interchange behind me are open. The only thing that's closed is the southbound into the tunnel. The southbound to Denny is closed, but Harrison north and south is open. Harrison east west is open. So a lot of this is starting to open up, and the contractor certainly that's not confusing. It doesn't have anything to do with the tunnel. So we want to get as many of the surface streets opened now while we await the maintenance crews to give us the green light on the tunnel.
And any last words for commuters tomorrow as they begin to navigate something completely new?
Well, certainly I would ask people to, you know, check the weather forecast, and you know, if it's snowy, you know, think hard about whether you need to come to work or whether you can you know, wait a few extra hours in the morning. Certainly pay attention to those conditions. But for folks that are using the tunnel, and I assume there'll be a lot of folks that really want to see it for the first time, again, pay really a close attention to the signage. Be cautious about your driving. And I appreciate that we're opening a brand new corridor. This is a new highway for all of us. It's completely different than the viaduct, and Denny looks different, and Royal Brome looks different, and all of these access points are different. And so again, I ask people to just give yourself some extra time to get to work.
Obviously, from the turnout this weekend, you can tell how much the viaduct, the new tunnel, all this means to people in Seattle. And I know that it's a question we've had before, and we have to ask it again. At what point will people be able to have that little souvenir of the new viaduct? I know part of it's going to be infill for the Battery Street tunnel, but there's been talk about eventually being able to get a chance, a piece of the old viaduct.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out how we would do that. You know, we need all that material to put into the tunnel, and I know there's some folks that want that. We're trying to figure out how we could do that. I don't want to be too optimistic in that because there is a lot of material there, but people can't come in and pick up, you know, 10-ton pieces of concrete either. So we're still trying to work out how we would do that. But I know obviously there was a lot of sentiment this weekend. It was wonderful that people are so nostalgic about the viaduct and so excited about the new tunnel. I mean, I went on the tunnel walk, and everybody around me was so excited about it and thought it was the greatest thing. And kids and old folks, everybody in between, it was a wonderful walk. And so I hope that people carry that enthusiasm forward. Certainly, we're excited about the next phase of the work that we have to do at the state, which is to take the viaduct down.
We need to go.
Yeah, and I actually have to jump on a 9 o'clock phone call with our executive team. So, yeah, you're welcome.
Our morning crews can reach out as soon as they're in, right?
They
Since you're
can, yeah.
overnighting
To
it.
my number, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Where are you?
And I'm
Which
in the
pocket? You're in there. Okay.
Thank you.
Overnight crews start. Oh, sorry.